So Friday is the night it's going to be taking place, the Spire film screening night. With us right now, creative director for a very cool company. He's a filmmaker as well. His name is Fabio Ricci, and he joins us right now. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to have you. How many films at this point have you been a part of?
A part of as a director? I also do a bit of acting as well. So
just everything in general. How many? Like, if we were to put together your IMBD, I think that's the.
I don't
know. Or is it IMDb?
Double digits for sure. I guess it's
yeah?
IMDb, yeah?
Okay, so how many as a filmmaker then have you put together?
This is going to be my latest one is my fourth short film.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called Every Measure.
It is.
Can you tell us about Every Measure?
Yeah, it's a drama about a woman who is she's a music teacher, and she's kind of mourning the loss of her daughter. So she and her husband are mourning the loss of their daughter, and she's working on this musical piece in memory of her daughter, until she one day suffers an accident that leaves her with something called cognitive amnesia, which is something I learned about from a podcast that was talking about the connection between cognitive functions and music, and I thought it was super interesting. So it's basically the inability to distinguish musical tones, which is crazy, but
sounds like a bit of a challenging piece you put together.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a positive spin on it. It's kind of about her trying to finish the musical piece for her daughter despite this new condition that she has. Okay. So there's a little bit of a positive upswing to it.
I know we're going to see a clip right here. Do you want to set it up for us?
Yeah. So the clip that I think we're going to show is Dr. Tony Lim, who's played by Peter Chow, brilliant actor. He's basically breaking the news to Linda Carding and her husband David about cognitive amnesia.
All right, this is Every Measure. Let's have a look.
Cognitive what?
Amnesia. Think of it as tonal or musical dyslexia.
So would that explain why I can't play?
Not quite. You can still play physically, but the left hemisphere of your brain has sustained a significant amount of damage. What that means is that you won't be able to distinguish tones from tones, and melodies won't sound like melodies, but more like...
Noise.
I suppose so. Noise.
So what are we looking at for recovery time? Weeks? Months?
All right. So it does seem pretty deep, though.
It is, yeah.
What made you decide to create a film such as this?
Basically, when I write short stories or work on films, I want to tell stories about human interactions. I find the best stories are about people. And I was kind of struggling to find an idea for my next short film. And then when I heard this podcast about this condition, as a musician, I was fascinated by it. And so it kind of inspired me to tell a story about forgiveness and recovery. I think those are the most compelling kinds of stories. So.
Okay. So you, how long is this? It's because it's a short film.
Yeah, so it's about 19 minutes.
Okay. And it's going to be, is it being premiered Friday at this festival?
Yeah, so at the Spire film screening night, Every Measure is going to play along with, I believe, 4 other short films from local Ottawa filmmakers. Okay. So there's some comedies, there's some thrillers, and it's going to be a good mix of genres and things like that.
Can you tell us about the other filmmakers who have submitted some short films?
Definitely, yeah. One of them is Mesa, who I've worked with on her short film called Russian Gangster, and despite the title, it's actually a comedy. So I worked with her on that as an assistant director. Everyone's kind of intermingled. You'll see some reoccurring faces from my short film in Mesa's short film, Russian Gangster, and then Lisa did one. There's a couple of them are produced by someone named Vanessa. And they're just, it's a very close-knit community of actors, and we all kind of jump on each other's projects, which is interesting. Yeah.
Which is super important, because you'll notice that even in the music community, even I find in like radio, media, television, like you've got this close-knit community. So do you find it's growing as well within Ottawa?
Definitely, yeah. I think that Ottawa is sometimes seen as not a creative hub, which is not like I host a web series where I interview different creatives in the Ottawa industry specifically. So I know firsthand that there are creative people among us.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I think Ottawa's growing into this kind of, it's being more and more recognized as a creative hub. which
Okay.
is great.
You also work at a company, Simple Story?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So where's this located?
We're neighbors. We're
Down
down,
the
the
street?
street. Yeah,
Okay.
we're at 319 McRae. We just moved in.
Okay. So what exactly happens at this place?
So Simple Story is a video production agency. We do live action stuff. We do animation stuff, basically for various different companies in various different industries. Anything from commercials to explainer videos and things like that. We basically create those videos from concept to final delivery.
So yeah, you want to talk about creative stuff. That sounds like the absolute hub of creativity
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
Okay, so give us more details then on the Spire film screening night. So Friday night.
Friday night.
And it starts at what time?
6:30, I believe.
Okay.
It's at Shanghai Restaurant at, I believe it's 651 Somerset.
Okay. So, and is there an admission?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can just kind of show up.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong about
That's
that,
okay.
and I hope I'm not.
But it sounds like there's pretty limited spots. It sounds like
Yeah.
a smaller venue.
It's a smaller
show these.
venue, yeah, but we have the whole restaurant kind of for this event, so.
Okay,
it's
which
gonna
is
be fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds left. What's ahead for you?
Ahead for me, I'm actually working on a concept for a new short film. My brain's kind of always
Always going.
going. So it's whether I'm, writing a short story or writing on music with my band. My brain's always kind of moving, but
What's the name of your band?
my band's called Fast Asleep.
Fast Asleep.
Yeah, we just played a show the other night at Live on Elgin, which was a lot of fun.
Love
Yeah.
it. And your website, I love it too. FabioDoesThings.com.
That's it.
And I can tell that's the absolute truth. Fabio Ricci, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
We always appreciate the time of all of our guests here on Daytime Ottawa, and we appreciate you for being here. As always, take care.